Bangalore, also known as the pub capital of India, infamous for its pub culture and active nightlife. But what they don't talk about enough is the other side of Bangalore, which is Bangalore in the mornings, and also how it is called the Garden City of India because of its beautiful greenery and its lush gardens. This got me thinking about the contrast between the nightlife and the early mornings, which is exactly what I want to show you in this video. The fascinating thing for me is how the vibe of the city completely changes overnight, and also how it is so different from one area to the other. Places in South Bangalore, places like Baswantagudi, has still been able to maintain its Kannadiga roots. And Kannada is still used as the main mode of communication, and it has not become diluted by outsiders like me. And honestly, in Bangalore, there are surprisingly only a few places where Kannada is still the dominant language. So last Sunday, I went to Baswantagudi. It's famous all across Bangalore for its temples, its authentic South Indian food, and also the roadside shopping. It's also popular for its fruit market because of the variety of fruits that they actually have. And seeing all those fruits and the variety of fruits is what got me the most excited and the most happy in Baswantagudi. The area was bubbling with activity early in the morning, where people go for morning walks, after which they go and eat breakfast. Or whether it be people who go to the flower markets early in the morning, they buy the flowers with which they go to the temples, after which they too go and eat breakfast. The breakfast is a sacred thing which marks the end of the outing, and basically every breakfast place there is always full. Oh, and that is Vidyarthi Bhavan, which is one of the most popular places for breakfast. And the waiting time there was 1 hour. Personally, I also really enjoy spending time in parks, Kabban Park to be specific. The park is a public park, which means that all kinds of people come there from different stages of life at different age brackets. I see kids who can barely walk to like old people, like spending their time amidst nature. And the overall vibe and the feeling is just really calm, nice, and really peaceful overall. That vibe completely changes at night in places like MG Road or Indiranagar, where it becomes more chaotic and it becomes really busy and really crowded all of a sudden. The crowd usually consists of a floating population, and you can literally find a pub or a restaurant in every corner of every street. And that's a difference between a pub and a club. A restaurant is a place that only serves food. A pub is a place that serves food and alcohol. And a club is a place where they serve food, alcohol, and there's also like really loud music and the that kind of vibe, party vibe basically. And by that description, you can probably figure that I don't go to a lot of clubs. On Church Street, there's a new mall that opened with a club on the top floor. And I thought it would be a cool idea to go and see how it looks like, so that I could also show you how it actually looks like. As you can see, I'm in Church Street, and there's this fancy pub that's opened on the top floor over there, and I'm trying to see if I can go or get in there with my hoodie. So I get to the club, where I see around 10 big buff bouncers wearing black suits, and the only people that were allowed inside were either girls or couples. And I was a guy who was alone, who was wearing hoodie and shorts. So I walk up to the bouncer and I ask him if I could get in just for 5 minutes, just to see how it looks like from the inside, and I would not cause any harm and I would just leave after 5 minutes. To which he replied no. After which he politely escorted me out, which is a nice way of saying they kind of kicked me out. Look at the things that I'm doing for the community. So the least that you can do is hit that subscribe button. But whether be a pub or a club, there are quite a few avenues where you can spend both your time and money at. I also wanted to talk about how Bangalore is perceived from the outside. I still remember telling my friends that I would be moving to Bangalore to pursue CA, and their first reaction was like, bro, studies in Bangalore, that's probably not going to happen. And you'll probably just end up partying and going out a lot. The general notion is that once you get to Bangalore, you'll probably get distracted because of the whole party scene and the pub culture. And I see why they say that, but at the same time, that's not entirely true. The city is very convenient and accessible, where you can get anything at any time. You can literally get anything home delivered, from even a small bunch of dhania to even bottles of alcohol. But at the end of the day, it's personal preference and the choice is yours. When it comes to my personal preference, though I live in central Bangalore, which is known for its pubs and the nightlife and the clubs, I still prefer going to the parks because of nature and doggos over humans. And the last thing that I want to talk about is on having a sense of purpose. When you are on vacation mode, you would probably do things that you don't usually do in your normal routine. The reason why you go to a place makes a world of a difference. A lot of my friends who came here for college alone also came here with an intention of going out and having fun, which they did quite often. When I first moved here, it was also kind of like a vacation for me, where it was like a change in routine, a different place altogether. But again, after a point of time, the excitement kind of just died down and I just went back to routine and then focused on the thing that I was really here for. Kind of like how the world around you is still the same, but the lens that you view it by is what makes all the difference. So at the end of the day, I feel like you always get what you want. In my case, along with college, I also moved here to pursue CA. The course itself is such that it requires you to be focused and you can't just let go, you can't just let loose. And to be honest, I don't feel like letting go and letting loose. I like the whole process as well. Call me a nerd, but I actually really enjoy finishing all the things on my to-do list and striking them off as I do it, along with which like completing my daily portions, going to the gym on a day-to-day basis, and also trying to manage a small walk here and there, which is what makes me happy throughout the day. And occasionally, I still do really enjoy going out with friends, having good food, catching up and all that as well. Oh, and that is Adra, CA Intermediate, AIR 1. If you want me to interview her, comment down below saying we want Adra. Along with which you can also comment on the question that you would want to ask her. So at the end of the day, if you are planning to move to another city with a purpose, you should have that purpose at the back of your mind. In my case, I'm still living off my parents' money. So I wouldn't want to spend money on things that I wouldn't have if I were living at home. I also think of the fact that my parents trusted me enough to send me to another city altogether where we had no relatives and they just let me go and they were just like, ja beta ja and ji le apni zindagi, which I did. So I feel like it's my part to be like responsible and be mature in the whole process. What do you guys have to say? Do let me know in the comment section down below and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.